Welcome back to the movie recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2015 Australian natural horror film called The Pack. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. The movie begins in the barn where a farmer shepherds the sheep to return to cages. As he successfully gathers all the sheep in one cell, the farmer immediately closes its door. Later at night, a ferocious pack of wild dogs eventually infiltrates the barn, causing the sheep to panic because of fear. Due to that, the dog also barks after hearing the bleat of the sheep. Meanwhile, the older woman peacefully sleeps on her sofa chair. At the same time, her husband, the farmer, discreetly gets his flashlight to go outside. Once outside, the farmer uses his flashlight and walks toward his barn across the house. Afterwards, he quickly puts the flashlight on to check his sheep inside when suddenly one of the wild dogs grabs him. Due to that, the farmer shouts in pain. While the older woman, on the other hand, eventually wakes up because of his screams. Inside the house, the older woman notices that the farmer is not on his sofa chair, causing her to get up from sleep and call his name, Harold. And when Harold doesn't answer, the older woman eventually goes outside. The older woman then uses her flashlight while calling Harold. As she finds him, she also goes to the barn, probably thinking that Harold might be in there. At first, the older woman seems unsure about entering the dark barn, so she slowly walks while getting inside. Once the older woman is inside, the wild dog immediately takes its opportunity to jump over and devour her. Due to that, the sheep go wild once again as they bleat in terror from the ferocious packs of wild dogs scattering around the barn. Then, the wild dogs suddenly howl as they fruitfully devour the elderly couple inside the barn. The following day, a farmer named Adam Wilson eventually gets inside his truck and drives it. While moving, he carefully observes his lawn to check his farm animals, mainly the sheep. However, he suddenly sees a group of sheep lying on the ground and barely breathing. Due to that, Adam immediately stops his truck and gets outside. Unfortunately, he suddenly discovers that those sheep are dead. Most of them had the same incident, their bloody throats were ripped out. While he checks on them, Adam shows distress and tries to think about what might be the cause of his sheep's death. Afterwards, Adam pulls one of his sheep and places it beside his truck. On the other hand, the young boy suddenly approaches his dog, Ollie, and runs together with it. While running, the young boy enters a made-up wood tunnel covered by galvanized iron sheets. So, Ollie follows him until they reach the end. However, the wood tunnel turns out as the young boy's shelter. And while inside, he eventually gets the metal box inside a hidden cabinet on the wall. The young boy then opens it, only to discover 2 pieces of bullets. As he takes out one of those, someone suddenly calls his name, which is Henry. Due to that, Henry immediately returns the metal box inside the hidden cabinet and gets out of the wood tunnel. Meanwhile, Adam still looks around to find the suspect in the open forest. He then also brings a sniper during his investigation. And as he walks, it turns out that Adam is tracking the blood that spreads on the ground. On the other hand, Henry is currently at the clinic, assisting the veterinarian and checking up on his dog. Fortunately, the dog's temperature result is good, and no infection is detected. However, the veterinarian points out that the dog only got stressed. Afterwards, the veterinarian orders Henry to put his dog in the kennel. Then after putting the dog, Henry gets the bottle on the table when suddenly the veterinarian, which turns out as his mother, kicks his bum. Once Henry leaves, the veterinarian named Carla Wilson returns the equipment to the cabinet when suddenly she hears bothering news on the radio. Carla then finds out about the elderly couple dead in the barn on their property. It appears to have been a vicious mauling by possibly a pack of wild dogs. So, Carla turns off the radio. Meanwhile, while searching, Adam suddenly finds a dog's fur on the muzzle wires. On the other hand, a teenage girl named Sophie Wilson is busy talking with her boyfriend on a long-distance phone call. Due to that, Carla eventually hears her, for she's only on Carla's clinic rooftop. Carla then gets the phone bill beside her, finding its overdue notice. Stressed, Carla immediately calls her daughter, Sophie, and cuts the telephone line. Pissed off, Sophie gets enraged as she goes down from the rooftop and shouts at her mother, Carla, about what she did. Carla then clarifies that if Sophie wants long-distance calls, she must pay for them. Meanwhile, Henry is lying under a tree outside their house when suddenly he notices a car parking in the distance. Due to that, he immediately goes to his mother's clinic to inform her about what he saw. While Sophie and Carla are arguing, Henry suddenly appears and tells Carla that the man is back, indicating that he sees his car outside. Timely, Carla also hears the man shouting outside. Due to that, Carla immediately orders Sophie to take Henry back to their house, and wait for her inside. On the other hand, Adam decides to burn the dead sheep when suddenly he hears Carla's voice over the radio. Adam then learns that Carla's asking if he finds anything in the traps and reminds him that he must return home. So, Adam answers Carla's question, telling her that he snared something, but it only escaped. Later, Adam and Carla settle a meeting with the man inside their house. Though Adam informs the man that it's not the time for them to talk, the man only ignores him and favors Carla by bringing him a glass of milk. Meanwhile, Sophie and Henry are hiding behind the walls near the living room to eavesdrop, wherein they also guess the problem of them moving out. However, Carla suddenly catches them as she's about to get a glass of milk for the man. But instead of scolding her children, Carla lets them listen during their meetings. Once Carla serves the man a glass of milk, she eventually hears him informing Adam that their payment is overdue despite paying in full. Unfortunately, Adam and Carla learn the man's employer is refusing to extend the noose they have left dangling over their property. Technically, the man clarifies that their only option is to take the foreclosure. However, Adam disagrees with him. So, the man points out that their income source has waned drastically over the past 6 months. Apparently, the man shows Adam and Carla that his financial lenders cannot continue the risk about the mortgage on their property because they can't pay for it anymore. Due to that, Adam reveals they have lost a lot of prime livestock for the past 6 months, and he doesn't know who kills his animals. However, the man has already decided to offer them one last chance to move out, or else he will drag them through the courts. Unfortunately, Adam will receive an eviction notice that indicates to vacate the property within the next 48 hours. But then, Adam tells him that they will not sell their property. Then, Adam leads the man through the door to take him outside. As the man leaves, Adam assures Carla that they will never lose their place. But Carla gives him no response and walks out. Meanwhile, when the man decides to park his car on the side of the road, he cluelessly walks inside the somber forest to urinate. However, he suddenly feels uncomfortable while urinating. Little does he know, the ferocious pack of wild dogs is already surrounding him. Regrettably, the man gets killed by the wild dogs after devouring him. Later at night, Sophie is having a half bath when suddenly a wild dog discreetly opens her bathroom door without her noticing it. Eventually, Sophie experiences a power shortage, resulting in her quickly finishing taking a bath. Though Sophie sees that the bathroom door is open, she only closes it and returns to her room. On the other hand, Adam interrupts their slow dancing as he favors Carla to get the generator. Then, he wakes up Henry to order him to help Carla take the generator. Meanwhile, the ferocious pack of wild dogs prepares to infiltrate Wilson family's house. Inside the house, Carla gets a pair of flashlights, while Adam, on the other hand, puts his shoe on to go outside with their dog, Ollie. Once Adam leaves, Carla orders Henry to check the basement fuse box. At the same time, she gets the generator started when they go to the basement. However, Henry feels uncomfortable about going down, so Carla assures him there is nothing to be afraid of because Henry will need to hold the light for Carla. Leaving him no choice, Henry follows her mother as they go to the basement. Once inside, Carla begins fixing the generator when suddenly Henry notices a shadow running above them. Then Carla, on the other hand, successfully gets the power line back, and gets out of the basement with Henry. Meanwhile, Adam checks the power line outside when suddenly he notices that Ollie's missing. Due to that, he immediately finds Ollie and walks in the middle of the field. However, Adam suddenly feels uncomfortable and scared after he enters the gloomy and dark forest. Due to that, Adam immediately runs to return home. Once he reaches their house, he quickly locks the door, and orders Carla to take Henry back to Sophie's room and close all the windows. Clueless, Carla follows Adam's order and reminds Sophie to look after her brother while they stay inside. Meanwhile, Adam prepares his sniper and asks Carla for more bullets. Adam then points his gun at the door while Carla still asks what is happening. However, Adam refuses to answer, so Carla calls the police station instead. After dialing, Carla tells the police that someone is breaking into their house when suddenly she hears a noise near the window. So, Carla quickly tells the police officer to send someone out to their home. While Adam is guarding the door, they eventually hear screams from Sophie's room. Due to that, Adam and Carla quickly run to check their kids inside, and block the window using the bookshelf. Afterwards, Adam returns to the front door while holding a sniper. However, the wild dog eventually jumps over Adam right after opening the front door. Shocked, Carla shouts Adam's name as she watches her husband attacked by the wild dog. It only takes seconds for Carla to realize that Adam will get killed if she does not do something. So, she immediately takes the sledgehammer and beats the wild dog to make it flee from their house. After that, Carla closes the front door. Later, Carla treats Adam slash on his left arm that the wild dog attacked. Fortunately, Adam is safe from a broken arm. On the other hand, Henry asks about Ollie's whereabouts, only to discover from his dad that Ollie's already dead, probably because of the wild dogs. Because of the sudden event, the Wilson family is now forced into survival mode to make it through the night. Eventually, they hear the sirens of the police outside, so Clara, Henry, and Sophie manage to look out the window. Meanwhile, the police officer attempts to contact Carla's telephone, but no one answers. So, he has no choice but to go outside his car and check out the Wilson family. However, the police officer suddenly gets attacked by the wild dogs right after getting out of his car. Due to that, Carla suddenly feels hopeless about getting saved. Adam then notices Carla crying, so he holds her hands to comfort her. Then, Adam eventually thinks of an idea to make a run for the truck. So, he gives the radio to Carla for communication despite the risk of getting killed once he goes outside. Then before he leaves, Adam reminds Carla to run with the kids as fast as they can once they are out of the door to get in through the truck. Afterwards, Adam begins his mission while taking the sniper with him. Once outside, Adam carefully watches out for his surroundings while getting into the truck. Fortunately, Adam successfully runs the truck, so he radios Carla to be ready as she waits for his signal. However, a wild dog suddenly breaks into his truck's window to attack. Adam then fights for his life to push away the animal, accidentally moving the car while fighting the wild dog. Due to that, the truck clashed with the police car. While Carla, on the other hand, shouts his name in fear. Unfortunately, Carla and her kids watch Adam going through an accident without noticing that they are already outside. Due to that, the wild dog sees them and immediately attacks them. So, Carla and the kids quickly return to their house and close the door. However, they eventually notice that there's one wild dog scattering inside their home. Later, Carla hides her children inside a cabinet, and reminds them to stay until she opens its door. Then, Carla gets a knife and starts moving. As she walks, Carla prepares her knife and looks out for the wild dog. Then seconds later, Carla follows it after spotting it going to the room. Eventually, Carla thinks of an idea to lock the wild dog in another room. So, she waits for it to go outside the room and turns off the light. Due to that, the wild dog eventually takes the bait, and Carla immediately closes the door once it enters. Then, she takes the radio to call Adam. Due to that, Adam finally wakes up after passing out. Adam then gets out of his car and checks the radio, but it's already broken. So, he takes the sniper instead and leaves the radio. Then, he goes to the clinic to find another radio. However, Adam eventually hears noises inside the clinic while covering his wound. So, he carefully gets the radio and sniper to check it out. Carla goes downstairs to check the basement. Unfortunately, she notices the wild dog after getting into the cellar. She immediately hides behind the door. Luckily, the wild dog fails to find her, so it goes upstairs. However, the wild dog goes to the kitchen, where Henry and Sophie are hiding in a cabinet. Sophie then suddenly screams after seeing the wild dog, resulting in them getting attacked by it. But luckily, Carla immediately goes to rescue and stabs the wild dog. The wild dog then flees after getting stabbed. Meanwhile, Adam walks backwards after discovering the noise from the wild dog. As he moves back, his radio suddenly makes a noise because Sophie is calling him. Adam then tries to turn it off, but the wild dog already hears him, so Adam fights with it once again. But this time, he successfully kills it. Then, Adam finds more bullets when suddenly he hears Carla's voice on the radio. Fortunately, Adam informs his family that he is still alive though he got strapped out. While they are on call, Carla suddenly hears the wild dogs starting to infiltrate their house. Due to that, Adam orders Carla to get the kids on the shed because they will be safer on the roof. Afterwards, Adam starts going to the rooftop while Carla and her children move out of their house. Once outside, Carla and the kids quickly run when suddenly Carla trips, causing the wild dogs to hear their footsteps. Due to that, Carla signals her children to continue moving out while she takes care of it. So, Sophie and Henry use the wood tunnel to get into the shed. Carla then goes back to their house to think of an idea on how to beat the wild dogs. Meanwhile, Henry gets the metal box that contains 2 bullets inside before he and Sophie get out of the wood tunnel. The movie ends with Carla preparing to get all the available fuels, while Adam, on the other hand, is trying to snipe the wild dogs. And fortunately, Henry and Sophie successfully get into the roof and meet their father. However, after throwing the torch with fire on the grass, Carla still fails to beat the wild dogs. So, instead of going to the rooftop, Carla hides under the truck. But then there is Adam, who immediately goes down on the roof to save her after Henry gives him the last 2 bullets. Carla thought she would get killed, but Adam suddenly shoots the wild dog that almost attacks her. Fortunately, the sunrise finally comes. The Wilson family and Ollie make it through the night against the ferocious pack of wild dogs. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.